Hi, my name is Amanda Fields, Executive Director of RCAW, and I'm excited to be here this morning with RCAW Platinum member Dan Schertz, Executive Vice President and partner of Alethia Digital. Dan's passion is helping people and businesses maximize their potential. He believes every company is unique, just like their owners. As a marketing professional for nearly 25 years, Dan has helped countless owners grow and succeed by learning what sets them apart from their competitors and helps them expand their potential with personalized campaigns that deliver exceptional results. Dan, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Amanda. I appreciate it. And it's great to be joining you all today. I hope everything is well in the wonderful, wonderful world of Seattle, Tacoma, and all of Washington there. We're so grateful to get to spend some time with you guys. We love RCAW here at Alethia Digital and love everything that you do. And I'm grateful to have a few minutes to share some ideas around marketing and how you can get more than your fair share for your company as you look to grow and generate the revenue you need to be successful. So the plan today is I'm going to share a few different things with you, some ideas around building brand, what you want to be mindful of, and how you can leverage the digital space to help you grow your business. We'll talk a little bit about the website that you have, which is often for most companies nowadays, it's that primary gateway for that customer to first get exposure to you, or at least to learn more about you. We'll talk about some best practices there, and then what you can do from a marketing perspective to help you generate the leads that you want and grow your business effectively. A little side note, I have a little bit of a tickle, recovering a little from a little bit about a COVID. I got some COVID, so I'm back on that. I apologize for some coughing and things that may be going on, but hopefully I'll get through it okay today. Here's what we're going to look at and be talking about as we get things rolling here. Three areas here when we look at building brand and generating leads for you. We're going to talk about knowing, finding, and connecting for your customers. We want your customers to know who you are and what are the best ways to do that. We want your customers to be able to find you when they need you. In your space, you are in an industry as roofing contractors where people aren't searching or looking or interested in what you have to do until they're in a moment that they need you, right? So it's really, really important that you're easy to be found and you make it easy for the last piece that we'll talk about, connecting, which is making it easier for people to connect with you how they want and when they want. Before we get into the specifics of my presentation, though, I thought I'd take a quick moment to share a little bit about who we are at Alethia Digital. We are a full-service digital marketing agency. Our team has a combined over 125 years of marketing experience. We're based in Columbus, Georgia. That's where our home office is and where my business partners are, along with most of our employees. I'm located in Wichita, Kansas, and have a couple of our employees with me in the Wichita office. We have currently 25 employees, and we're growing. I think the last time I spoke with you all, we were at this about a year and a half ago. We had 15 employees. So we've had a very, very busy last 18 to 20 months. And we are seeing continued growth with our staff as we look and continue to build more relationships with clients across the country and helping them grow their business. We have over 150 clients across North America. We are active not only in the States, but also up in Canada as well. And as a company, we have a special emphasis in the home service category with well over 60 roofing contractors that we work with all over the country. We love, love, love helping our home service clients, especially our roofers. You spend every day helping people. So when we get to work with you, when people ask me what I do, I say I help people help people. What you do is very, very important work. You are helping homeowners and business owners protect their most valuable, at least tangible asset in their home or their business. And it's important that we want to help you guys grow and achieve the things that you're trying to do for your company, which creates jobs and opportunities within the communities you serve. And we love being able to do that across the country and up into Canada as well. So I share this information with you just to say that this then comes from what I'm going to share with you today, comes from the breadth of experience that we've had working with businesses just like yours and helping them grow and be effective and ultimately achieve the goals that they have. So let's talk about knowing who you are, right? We want to have when you're looking at building your brand and maximizing your potential, earning more than your fair share, the first challenge that you have is that customers need to know who you are. Those prospects you're trying to reach need to be able to be aware of you when they need you. So we look at three kind of key areas here: brand awareness, the right people, and what do they know. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. When we think about brand awareness, that our customers, people tend to do business with people they know and trust. That's why word of mouth is always the best advertising that you can get out there, right? Those referrals are the number one marketing tool that you can have. The mindset for customers is, well, if I know who you are, you must be good. Our job as marketers and you as a company is, how do we get more people to know about us beyond just the circle of customers and their direct relationships that we have? We want to build that brand awareness. Secondly, we want the right people to know who you are, and we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like and how we do that. We don't necessarily need to you don't need to reach everybody. You're not looking to generate leads for every customer. You're wanting the right customer. So it's based on where they live or their location, perhaps their income level or what their home value is. Not all jobs are created equal, right? So especially if we're going to invest our time, energy, and resources into marketing, we want to do that to get the best types of leads and the best prospects we can. And then when we talk about knowing who you are for our customers, it's important that we're able to answer, what do they know about us? What do these prospects and customers know about us? Who are we as a company and what makes us different? So let's talk a little bit about this here as we get into this part of the presentation. Well, when we say know who you are, really we're talking about the top of the funnel and this process of building who is our ideal customer. And so this requires a little bit of work on your end to ask some questions and do some discovery. Yes, we can take care of roofing and other needs around that roof, or perhaps siding, windows, doors. If you do additional exterior remodel needs, we can do all kinds of roofs. But who's our ideal customer? Who's the person that we really want to be working with, that's most profitable? So you want to ask these questions about the ideal customer. Where do they live? What are those service areas or those neighborhoods and those communities that your ideal customer lives in? Not all areas are the same. How do these customers behave? And when we ask that question, it's like, well, what do they do? What are their behaviors that we might be able to lean into to help connect with them? Are they highly active in leveraging, say, their mobile phone for information and entertainment needs? Do they stream video services when they look to consume content, like things like Netflix, Hulu, those types of things? What do they value? What are the things that are most important to them? Do they value knowledge and information? Do they value quality and expertise? Do they value getting a quality product at a fair price? Or is it they value getting the best price for a reasonable quality product? What are those things that they value? And the other key traits that we want to identify when we look at the ideal customer for us is, well, what are those demographic traits that we want to look for? I would suggest in your case, most of the folks you want to talk to are actual homeowners, right? If I live in an apartment, there's no need for me to be finding a roofing contractor, and roofing contractors don't want to waste their time and energy trying to track those folks. You want to talk to homeowners. You may want to talk to homeowners, though, that have homes that are worth a certain value or more. There may be certain homes you're like, I really don't want to do that work. Certainly don't want to invest time and resources to get leads that would do the type of work that maybe aren't the most profitable jobs for us. Another thing you may want to look at is household income. Household income is another key element that can help you with identifying that ideal customer. Now, how do I find them? So if I've spent the time, I've identified who that person is, and these are the people I want to know who I am, well, how do I find them? Well, there's a lot of ways for you to be able to find your ideal customer, which can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse, because it can be overwhelming with all the tools and tactics that you have at your disposal. How do you find the right ones? Well, when we want to look for your ideal customer, there's really three areas that from a marketing perspective, you can focus on. One, where they socialize. Two, when they're researching and looking for information. And three, wherever they consume content, whether it's for entertainment, knowledge, research, or just they need to kind of unwind a little bit. Where are they consuming content? And today, the places that we can consume content and get content are almost limitless. So I need to understand how I can find them in these areas. So when we talk about where they socialize, What I'm talking about here is this idea of social media, right? And we're all very familiar with it. Some of you may be like, God, it's the bane of my existence. I hate this stuff, the Facebook and all the stuff I have to do, and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn. I get it. There's so much, it's overwhelming. But what we do know in these ecosystems, these platforms, is your customer spends a lot of time there. So we can leverage the social media platforms to try and target and build a relationship with the people you want to work with. So in social media marketing, you can do things like demographic targeting. You can do geographic targeting. You can focus on people that have certain groups and interests. You can also, in the space of LinkedIn, you can focus on people that have certain job titles or in certain industries. So if your company happens to not only work on the residential side, but also does work in the commercial side, LinkedIn can be a fabulous resource to help you there. You can also do what's called lookalikes. So you know who your best customers are. In fact, you've got a laundry list. You have the database of here's the people that we've served. Well, inside the social media space, you can take that data and that information, and you can actually ingest that into the social media platforms and say, these are our customers. We want to find more people like them. And so there's some great ways for you and tools out there that allow you to connect with people where they socialize in the digital space. And that's a key part of getting people to know who you are and help them understand a little bit about your business before they need you. Now, when they research, so people are doing things all the time to get information. And for you guys, when you look at the business of a roofing contractor, again, you're not in a space where people are going to spend a lot of time looking for or searching or learning about what you do until they need you, right? The roof's leaking, or my insurance notified me that my roof's at an age where I have to replace it, or I'm not going to be covered. Whatever that may cause them to have to need that roofing service, they're going to start researching, right? There's a lot of competition in your space. You all know that better than anyone. So roofers all over the place. And when I'm making a decision to care for my home and my roof, I need to make sure that I pick the right person. So when we talk about when they research, there are tools and tactics that allow us through display and other vehicles where we can target people who are searching for the services you offer. Okay, now this doesn't mean they're looking for you specifically, but they're in the market and they're actively engaging in searches to learn more about roof repair or roof replacement or shingle types or whatever the case may be. You can also target people who have been reading about the services you offer. There's something called contextual targeting, where you're able to identify what people are reading and what they're consuming on their screens. And based on the keywords that are showing up on that information, it gives marketing tools and platforms insight into saying this person is likely to be in the market for roofing or siding or windows. So you can market to them that way. You can also target folks. Oh yeah, go ahead, Amanda. I see you popped
Yeah,
up.
we have a question here. We have a resident. Is this focused on residential roofers, or does this refer to commercial roofers as well?
This can be for both. We can do this for both. I'm a little bit heavier on residential here, but this can also apply to commercial, and you'll see some of that as I get into some more information as well. With targeted display as well, you can target people who've been to your site, and you can remarket to them. And you want to make sure that when people are researching, people are researching across multiple devices. And for the commercial contractor there with that question there'll be some stuff coming up here where I'll talk a little bit about how we can target specifically and how you can build your website in such a way that it will resonate with that commercial customer as well. Finally, just real quick on getting people to know who you are. You also want to be present wherever they consume content. And this is where things like video and audio can come into play. Streaming video and audio services like Hulu, YouTube, Spotify, Netflix. Folks, Netflix has announced that they're going to be releasing a free commercial or ad-supported version here in the next 6 to 9 months. So Netflix is a massive platform delivery system and is something that you can will soon be able to leverage as well to get your message in front of folks. You want to be targeted in these efforts. When we talk about your audience knowing who you are, you don't want everybody to know who you are. You want the right people to know who you are. In this space, it can be active as well as passive. And what I mean by that is some of these services may be someone's on a website or they're on an app and they're engaging in content. And when they click to engage the content, your messaging can come up before that actual content comes in. So that's where pre-roll and mid-roll. If you've ever been on, say, an ESPN.com or a weather.com and you want to watch a highlight or a news story and you click that, and then there's a pre-roll coming in, that's more of an active engagement here where they're consuming content. A passive engagement can be someone who's sitting on Hulu or Roku, or they're on maybe they're on Spotify listening to music, but they're engaging in that platform or that content. And then there are ads that are dropped in. We can make sure that we're putting your ads, your messaging in front of folks when they're not necessarily actively engaged, but they're listening and consuming, and you can build that awareness. Again, this is just about getting people to know who you are, and ideally getting the right people to know who you are. But let's talk a little bit about, and this is where we're going to get into some of the very specifics around your website, as well as other marketing tactics to help you get in front of people when they need you, whether they're residential or commercial. You want to be present here. So that next step of finding you when I need you, this is what it looks like. Where do I go? Who do I find? And what do I do? When people need your service, they're going to go to their friends, their family, their neighbors, the people that are in spaces like them. In the commercial side, they're going to talk to their peers and folks and say, hey, I've got a roof leak. Who do you use? I need to talk to somebody. So there's that referral base. The other place they go is today's Yellow Pages, and we're going to talk about that. And that's actually the mobile search device. That's your phone. That is going to Google, Bing, those types of places to be able to find what you're looking for. So that leads us to then, who do you find? Those search results, and people are looking for a professional, trustworthy presence, right? There's a lot of people in your space, a lot of companies that you compete with. Most of those companies do not have a very professional presence. This is especially relevant in the commercial space, but it's also highly valuable in the residential space. You know, these are the most valuable assets that these prospects or these individuals are looking to protect. They want to be able to do it with someone that they feel they can trust. Professional presence is important. And then when people are looking for you, when they need you, what are the things that they're doing? Well, they're researching. They're looking at and checking out the reviews. What do other customers, past customers, have to say about your work, your company, your service? They'll then either click or call to engage you. And they'll ideally, our goal is to schedule an appointment. So let's talk about how we can help with this. So when we talk about how they find you, here's the things you need to be mindful of. Again, I mentioned today's Yellow Pages. There's lots of noise in this space. And there's this, what we call the Google game, and how do we stay relevant and how do we stay present with them in this space? Well, let's talk about today's Yellow Pages. Back in the day, when you had an issue with your roof, you just went to the Yellow Pages, you looked up roofing company or roofer, and you searched the ads that were there. Yellow Pages, I haven't seen a Yellow Page in years. I haven't seen a phone book in years. Everything is done on my phone. And what we know with your customers is the majority of roofing customers do most of their research and work on mobile devices. So it's critically important to recognize that today's Yellow Pages is now a multi-platform type of experience. I may start looking when I'm at my office and I'm on my desktop. I may be looking on my mobile phone. I may be looking on my tablet. It's very, very important that you have a presence across all those platforms. There's also the idea of organic versus paid results, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but you want to have a presence in both, because the goal here is really about making sure your brand has real estate in the right areas when people are looking for what you do. And then the other element here that we'll talk about multiple times is customer reviews. It's absolutely critical that you are regularly getting reviews from folks. I know it's difficult. One of the biggest challenges that we hear consistently from our clients is, I ask for reviews from our clients, our customers, all the time. I can never get them to actually give one. They tell me they will, but then they never do. It's a very difficult challenge. There are tools and resources out there to make that a more streamlined process, to make it easier, but it will always be a challenge. It's the same way with word of mouth, folks, right? You've been in business for a while, you know. It's hard to get people to say good things about you. I mean, they will, but it's hard to get that to happen. It's very easy when someone's upset with you or frustrated with you. It's very easy to hear about that. because people will tell anybody that they know about a bad experience. But sometimes they're less likely to share the positive. It's the same way with reviews. Now, in this space where you're trying to get in front of people when they need you, one of the biggest challenges you all face is all of the noise that's out there. You can see on the screen right now, I've put some logos up there of companies that are really the big drivers of this noise. First of all, the lead aggregators. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with companies like Home Advisor and Angie, the Better Business Bureau, Yelp. There's all sorts of companies out there that are actively engaging, leveraging the search platforms that are out there to try and grab these homeowners, these business owners that are looking for roofing work, roofing services. They're trying to grab them before they find you, because then they can sell you the lead along with 3 or 4 or 5 other contractors at the same time. So the lead aggregators creates a lot of noise on the online platform. It's hard to break through it. You need to have some strategies and tools in place to do it. Review sources. There's all kinds of review sources. You can get Google reviews and Facebook reviews and Better Business reviews and Yelp reviews, all kinds of review sources. It's hard to know, well, which ones should I be asking for? And which ones do customers tend to look at the most? We'll tell you in our experience, Google is the premier review resource in roofing and most home service categories, followed probably next by Facebook, with Better Business Bureau right along there. But it's very hard to try and drive reviews with all. We talk to our clients that because of the way the business is working right now, that Google is the highest priority. Focus your energy there. That's what most people tend to search on Google. That's where, and most people will tend to look at Google reviews for some of their research. That's where you want to be. But there's so many out there that create this noise. The other noise that you deal with is competition. Your competitors are trying to get the same people you are. And there are a lot of roofing companies out there. Doesn't matter residential or commercial, they're all over. So you've got competition that's actively engaged in trying to get those leads, trying to get in front of those searches for the right keywords, whether they're doing it organically or they're doing it through paid sources. So how do we break through all of that to make sure that people can find us when they need us? You know, the other element here that's important for everyone to understand is what we call the Google game. But this is relevant with all search engines, but Google is the premier one. There are 2 things that Google cares about. 2 things. Number one is delivering exceptional customer experience. And by that, meaning if someone goes onto Google and they type in something in that search bar, they want to make sure that Google delivers the most relevant and efficient search results so that that customer gets what they're looking for. Why? Because they want that searcher to come back and search with Google all the time. So that's the number one thing, delivering exceptional customer experience for search results. But the number 2 thing they care about is money. So they want to do everything they can to get as much money coming in, right? So if they deliver great search results, then companies like you will want to be advertising there to make sure that your ad shows up, your search results show up. So we want to make sure that we understand that we have to deliver a great customer experience that Google and do it in a way that Google will show our ad or our listing more and more often than our competitors. Customer reviews is a huge part of the Google experience. If you are not actively getting customer reviews, it will have an impact on your website's SEO. It will have an impact on your Google business profile. And ultimately, it can have an impact on how well you drive leads because people will pay attention to that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. SEO versus SEM. When it comes to Google and other search engines, it's important that you're engaged in both. SEO is search engine optimization. SEM is search engine marketing. These search platforms, this is the lowest part of the funnel for you all as roofing contractors when you think about your customers' journey to purchase. When they need help, they're going to go online and search for roof repair companies near me, best roofing contractor in Tacoma. They're going to be doing these searches. This is when they're in the moment that they need what you do. So it's important that you're engaging in both the optimization side of things that helps with your organic performance, as well as the marketing side of things that helps with your paid performance, so that you get as much real estate on the search engine platform when that customer is searching as you can. And then there is Google recently came out in the last couple of years, a competitor to the Home Advisor, Angie's, Better Business Bureau, lead aggregator models that are pay per lead models. And they now have what's called Google Guaranteed Google Local Services. So you also want to be having a blended option when you're marketing and trying to reach people in the search options. You want to have a blended option of pay per lead options as well as those pay per click and organic options. The Google game is a huge piece and a huge part of how you grow your business and how you're effective with your digital footprint. Now, I've talked a little bit about search engine optimization. I want to give you a little more detail on what does that look like. I'm not going to get heavy into the weeds because this is a very, it's a deep rabbit hole. Search engine optimization, and those of you that have experience working with companies like ours or that have worked with other website types of designers and developers, you're familiar with SEO. You need to do SEO, you need to do SEO. Well, yes, you do. It's important that you have a healthy website that makes it easier for your customers to find you. And I just want to share a couple of highlights about really what you need to be mindful of and how you make sure that your site is done well to better perform from an optimization perspective. The first thing is around titles and meta tags. So title tags and meta tags. Tagging is a mechanism used when a website is built and pages are designed and copy is created. Tagging is something that helps the search engines identify what is going on with this particular page and how does it connect or relate to a search result, a search query, right? So you want to make sure that your title tags, your meta tags are appropriate. So for example, if you want to have a better chance of showing up on searches when people are looking for roof repair, or let's say roof replacement, you want to make sure that you have a page that says something around is tagged and titled residential roof replacement. Okay. Having that in the tag is going to allow you to have a better chance of showing up organically because remember, the search engine is trying to find the most relevant results to deliver for that search request from the customer. So just having a page on your website that says residential roofing, well, that's not going to do very well for you on a search engine optimization basis. And you have, well, but I have repair and I have replacement and I have storm damage all listed on that residential roofing page, Dan. That covers everything. It's great that you have that, but if you don't have individual pages that speak to those specific services, your website's going to have a hard time when it comes to search engine results. When we think about how we build these sites, ultimately what you want is you want search engines to be able to know the who, the what, and the where of your business. You can see on this website that we have here that I'm sharing on the screen, this is one of our clients in Atlanta, Georgia. They're a plumbing, HVAC, and electrical company. This particular page is a page that was built that speaks to drain cleaning services in Peachtree City, Georgia. Okay. And if you were to look at the actual tag, it would say drain cleaning services, Peachtree City, Georgia, Hammond Services. So we've got the who, the company name, the what, this is about drain cleaning services, and the where, Peachtree City, Georgia. Very important that when you have your website built that you have those elements included to give you a better chance of showing up organically. An easy way or a good way to try and remember this and process this is you want your website pages to mirror customer search behavior, right? So if customers are searching for roof repair or roof installation, or on the commercial side, roof restoration or roof maintenance programs, or perhaps it's about a particular product, TPO, EPDM, or if you're on the residential side, it's steep slope, or it's asphalt shingle, or it's shake shingle. You want to think about what would your customer be online searching for that the people you want to work with, what might they be looking for? And then I want to make sure that my web pages, my website and the pages on the site mirror those searches, right? So if it's commercial roof maintenance or it's roof restoration, I need to make sure that I have a page, if I offer that service, that talks about and is titled as such, roof restoration, commercial roof restoration services, Tacoma, Washington, Bill's Commercial Roofing Company. So you want your website pages to mirror customer search behavior. And building onto that, then that's why we talk about wanting these product specific and service specific pages. It's not just enough to say commercial roofing, and then on the commercial roofing page, you have the 5 or 6 services that you provide. You want to have commercial roofing as a section and then have sub pages for each of the services that you provide. Furthermore, you can take it to the next level, and that's what we speak about here on this targeting customer to key markets. As you see on this page here, you want to get specific to the communities that you serve. So you may serve Tacoma, Seattle, Bellevue, Puyallup, Gig Harbor. You can go across, the whole area of all these towns and suburbs and areas that are in the SeaTac metro. Well, you want to have then a commercial roof restoration page that would be specific to Tacoma, but then would also be specific to Puyallup. That would also be, I hope I'm saying that right. I always get that, but I think I'm saying that right. But anyway, those markets. So not only do you have a roofs repair page or a commercial restoration page, but then you get specific to the locations and those that you serve as well. These are some high-level things that we look at. And when I look at a company's website, I go into the back end to go, how deep is their site? How many pages do they have? Now, by the way, not all of these pages would show up in that navigation bar of your site. Many of these pages would never be findable on the navigation. They would only be found by search engines when a particular search, say, of someone who lives in Gig Harbor who's looking for Cedar Shake roofing contractors. Well, if you have a Gig Harbor page that says Cedar Shake Specialist in Gig Harbor, Washington, that page is going to have a better chance of showing up on that search, but wouldn't likely be on this navigation. It'd be something that we'd have on the back end of the site. So that's how we do things to help with your search engine optimization. And that's an important thing for you to know. Look at your site, ask your website provider, have we done these sorts of things that make it more likely that we're going to show up on the searches that we want to show up for so that we can get the calls, the leads that we want. Now, when we think about then how they find you, and I've shared quite a bit here and gotten a little bit in the weeds with SEO and things on your website. But the next piece here is we need to make it easier for people to connect with you. And when it comes down to it, your customers want to be able to connect with you how they want, when they want. So what that means is when you think about your website, when you think about the marketing tactics that you have in play, you need to think like your prospect, like your customer, not like yourself. What are the behaviors? What are the things that they want and need to be able to do? And let me make sure that I'm making it as easy as possible for when they find me, for them to connect with me. So we're going to talk about you need to have multiple options on your website for connection. You also need to make sure that you are prepared and ready when the customer finally does contact you. Time is of the essence, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And then the other thing that we need to do is we want to make sure that we're asking these folks to share their story, right? And this we'll go into a little bit more detail about reviews and what that looks like. So how I want, when I want, right? How do I connect with you? I want to connect with you how I want to and when I want to. Well, what does that mean? Well, first of all, it means you need to have multiple options available for your prospect, for your customer to contact you when they find you. So that means having not only your desktop version, like we see with this screen grab here that I have, but you need to have mobile and tablet versions of your website. You need to make sure that your website is responsive. Now, if you've recently redone your website in the last, if you've redone it in the last 3 to 5 years, odds are very, very high that your site is already mobile and tablet responsive. So that's good. But you also then want to make sure that the mobile and tablet experience is done in a way that is relevant for that platform or that device, because a mobile search and a mobile website visit is different than a desktop visit. Case in point, if you'll look here on this one here with the Retex Roofing Exteriors, this is their mobile view on the mobile phone. You will notice right on the very top, there is a phone icon. That phone icon is basically anchored to this header, And it doesn't matter if I scroll up or down, that header never moves. The reason we do that is you're on a phone. The customer that's finding my website on their mobile phone should not have to find or search or have a hard time figuring out, how do I call these people? If they found you and they're looking at your website and getting information on their phone, the call option should be top, front and center, easy peasy, one click and go. Now, that's not that critical and not necessarily on a tablet and especially on a desktop. So you'll notice on this example here with the Renova, the desktop version, we have the phone numbers listed, but it's not a click to call. They're there right there. So if I scroll up and down, I can see what phone number I want to call if that's the means I want to do it. But on the mobile version, make it easy for them to contact you. The other thing too is you need to have multiple contact types. So in this case, you can see on the Renova website, we have a request appointment button. I have a chat feature here where someone's asking if they'd like some help. I have a text option or a chat to text option on the side. And then I have the phone numbers here, and I even have a contact button in the header. So if I want to do, maybe I don't want to call because I don't want to talk to anybody yet, but I do need some information. I want to be more passive. I'm going to do a form fill. I would like to email someone so I can control when I reply. Well, I want to make sure, you need to make sure your website has the email option available with multiple form fill opportunities throughout the site. Perhaps there's a lot of folks, especially younger consumers today, that they're used to that immediate gratification, right? So if I want to talk to somebody, I don't want to have to wait. I really don't want to pick up the phone and call, but I want to chat with somebody. And I see that I've got a chat option. I'm going to chat and I'm going to connect with you, or I can text you. I'm going to text and engage with that. By the way, you can see on the mobile version, this thing right here in the corner, this little pop-up box, that is the chat option in the lower right-hand corner. That is the chat option and how it looks on a mobile version. And then you still are going to have plenty of folks that want to pick up the phone and call. So whatever works best for you, or rather, you want to make sure your site has whatever works best for your customer. Make sure you have those multiple contact types. Yes, Amanda.
We have a question. Who answers those chat questions?
That is a great question. And that is one of our most common questions when we talk about the chat feature. There are multiple chat options that are out there. There are a lot of companies that sell a service that's basically a chat bot, right? So it's a bot that's working that and engaging with that. We do not use a chat bot. We prefer our partners and our chat services are actually, those services are manned by actual people that are sitting there and they're engaging with the chat feature. Point to be clear here is you think about yourself, you've got your company to run, you're doing your day-to-day, you don't have time to sit and wait for a customer that chats on your website, and now you've got to drop everything to deal with that customer that's chatting on the website. Our company recommends that you find a service where there are individuals that are able to actually man that chat feature 24/7, who can do some initial discovery to get, and ultimately with the goal being a warm transfer, a transfer of that person to you that allows you then to respond and deal with them when you can. So in this case, what we do is the chat folks have one mission. That's all. Their number one mission is this: capture the lead information. What's your name? What's the best means to contact you? So when someone goes to the website, they get the "how can we help you?" The person says, well, I have a couple questions. My roof's leaking. Great. Can I get your name? They get the name and say, well, what are your questions? Well, this, and this. Fabulous. I would love to have one of my teammates contact you to answer those questions for you directly. What's the best way for them to contact you? We get the phone number or an email, and then that information is either warm transferred, where we notify the client when the customer's on the chat right there. Are you available to talk now? We can hand them over to you now. Or we send over that information so that the customer can respond. So great question. We strongly recommend working with a partner that has actual people responding and engaging versus a bot. Customers can tell the difference, and that's a better representation of your brand if it's people. And then furthermore, just as a clarification, it is not something where you or someone on your staff has to sit there and be ready to answer any chats when they come in. That's covered for you. The goal is to get that lead transferred. Okay, so how I want, when I want, multiple options, multiple platforms. Time is of the essence. So the other thing is, and one of the things that we work with our contractors a lot is, okay, we're going to put a plan together for you. We're going to develop this program for you. When we send leads your way, you need to be ready. You need to be prepared. There's a couple of reasons why. Well, first of all, we know that the first 5 minutes are crucial for anyone that's searching in this moment. You all know as contractors dealing with prospects, if they have an active leak or if they're dealing with an issue with their roof, they don't have time to waste to try to find somebody. Any single person, everyone's single most valuable asset is their time. Think about it yourself, business owner or running your company or doing the things you do. The most valuable thing you have at your disposal is time. Your prospects, your target customers are the exact same way. So you want to help them spend the least amount of time to get what they need so they can move on. Nobody wants to have to deal with roof issues and challenges. They want to get this done and move on and get it fixed. So be ready. Train your staff to be ready. Make sure that your people know this is the right way to answer the phone. This is what we do to get them to the right people so we can get that estimate scheduled. And be mindful of this because of the vast amount of competition that you all face in your industry. This homeowner can, if you guys don't respond and you're not quick and you don't get that done in an effective and efficient way, there's plenty of other people they can call. So be responsive. That's why those multiple touch points of availability for communication, phone, email, chat are so important. And you want to make sure that your team's teed up and ready to go when those leads come through. The final piece of this, when we talk about getting our customers to connect with us, is about sharing their story. So one of the greatest challenges that you face with your company when it comes to trying to grow the business and trying to drive lead generation, trying to get traffic, whether you're doing anything actively with marketing or not, is controlling the message that's out there for your company. Again, this goes back to if people have a great experience, they may tell a few people, but if they have a bad experience, they'll tell everybody. All right. Well, with reviews, while it's a bit of a double-edged sword, these online reviews do give you an opportunity as a company to control the message about what it's like to do business with you. You want to get as many reviews as you can, and you want to get them as often as you can. So make sure that when you have a happy customer that you are engaging them and you're finding a way and you're asking them to give you a review. One of the benefits from this is it actually creates a level or layer of complaint protection. Okay. What we know from Google is it takes about 10 to 12 5-star reviews to offset the impact of one 1-star review. Okay. And by impact, I mean the overall ranking, what your overall rating is with Google, as well as just being able to get that negative review kind of pushed down in the hierarchy because, well, when it's been posted, right? So newest to oldest, we need to get as many 5 stars or 4 stars up there to kind of push that negative review down. Now, if you have 15 or 20 reviews as a company on your Google review and your average rating, let's say, is a 4.9, and you get a 1-star review, that's going to dramatically impact your 4.9. You may fall to a 4.6, a 4.4, maybe even lower. But if you have 120 reviews and your average rating is a 4.8, and you get one 1-star review, the impact to that 4.8 may be a 4.7 because you have more, you have a diverse and a large number of reviews. You've got a lot of 5-star reviews in there. It protects you from those unhappy customers. So it is a very, very wise business decision for you to make, again, whether you're marketing or not, that you're getting reviews on a consistent basis. The important thing for you to get those reviews, you've got to make sure it's fast and easy. Make sure it's fast and easy. Leverage a platform or a tool so that your customer doesn't have to search hard to make that review. And another side benefit, and looking at the time, I want to be mindful here. Won't go into this too deep, but the more reviews you get on your Google business profile, the better your website will perform with search engine optimization with Google. Google likes people that are fully engaged and fully embracing all of their services. Your company, if you do the same, it'll actually have an SEO benefit for you. Okay. So as we get close to wrapping up here, where do I start? I know I need to have a smart website. I know I need to do these things. Thanks, I've talked to you a little bit about the journey that your customer goes through and how we need to engage with them. Well, what can you be doing? There's some digital fundamentals we'll talk about briefly, what your marketing game plan should look like, and what you can do from an execution perspective. On the fundamentals, the blocking and tackling of your digital footprint, there's 3 key areas. Your website's number 1. Then you need to be present when people are looking for what they need. And then you need to make sure that you're teed up and ready to go when people engage with whatever you're doing to activate and serve those customers when they call you. So when we talk about the website, a couple of elements here. Number 1, your website should be secure. Do you know if your website's secure? Real easy way to tell. Go to a browser, type in your URL, pull the website up. In the top left-hand corner of the browser is a lock. If your website is secure, that lock will be closed and it will say secure. If it's not secure, that lock shows that it's open and it says not secure. You want to make sure your website's secure. Secondly, make sure you own your site. Make sure you're not leasing it. There are several companies in our space, and what I do as a company. There are several companies that their model is you are leasing the site from them. You have to pay a monthly fee that in order to maintain the site, you get some marketing services, those sorts of things as part of that fee. But if you ever decide to cancel that relationship or change that relationship, the second you cancel, your website is gone. You still probably own the domain, but there's no website to show up on it. So make sure for your website that it's yours, that you own it. You should own that digital real estate. Make sure your site has a smart design, like I talked to you a little bit about earlier. You want to make sure that it's designed for what these people are looking for. There are lots of website types of looks and feels out there. You need a site that's designed for roofing and the exterior remodeling services that you provide. You do not need a site that's designed for blogs, for example. You need something that's designed to capture leads and make sure that when people are looking for you, they find you. And then when they find you, they get the information they need to call you. And then finally, make sure your website is regularly optimized and consistently optimized. That's that search engine optimization, and also maintained, making sure that there's nothing broken, no broken links, those sorts of things. That's the website. Search. Your business is one again. When people need you, that's when you want to be in front of them, because that's when they're actively looking for what you do. So make sure you're doing things in the search space, that you're marketing there, that it's targeted, that you're focusing on the right services and products, excuse me, and that you're targeting the areas that you want to serve. Make sure that when you're doing search, whether you're doing it yourself or you're working with a partner, that there's consistent human optimization. Search is not something that you just place the keywords, build the ads, and then set it and forget it. It needs to be touched and monitored and maintained on a consistent and regular basis by a person, not by a bot. And then make sure you're eliminating waste. Make sure you're employing things that will avoid or get rid of fake clicks or bad clicks, bot clicks. Make sure you're utilizing services that make sure that when people are engaging with your search campaign, that they're the people you want to be talking to, and that it's for the services you provide. And then finally, on the blocking and tackling, make sure your lead capture is ready. Like we talked about, multiple sources of lead capture. Make sure you're teed up and ready to go and you're responding within the first 5 minutes, and be ready to make the most out of that customer's time. Because if it takes too long to do business with you, they'll find somebody else. After that, you want to build a marketing campaign that's going to focus on your strengths. There are lots of outbound efforts that you can do to try to attract folks. Now, when we're thinking about folks, we're thinking about what we're talking about here is not when people are searching for you, because they're actively engaging and going to the search engines because they're in the market. Here, I'm talking about outbound efforts to try to build your brand and be present with the people you want to do business with and get them thinking about you before they need it. So this is doing things like display advertising, social marketing, the video and audio things that we talked about, as well as content marketing, blogs and vlogs. These are things that not only will help you stay in front of your customers and also position you as an expert, but will also improve your website's performance on the organic side of things, because you're consistently adding content that would be relevant to what your customers are looking for when they need your service. So focus on your strengths, and this goes back to those first few things we talked about early in this presentation. And then finally, everything comes down to execution. whatever you're doing, what through marketing, through your sales and individual like direct marketing efforts, whatever those things are, you want to make sure that you're maximizing the potential of what you're doing. So one of the things that I talk about first is make sure you have exceptional partnerships. You all have built your business. You work with certain vendors out there that help you do what you do. The GAFs, the Owens Cornings, the distributors that you work with, your Eagle Views, your Sumo Quotes, your Job Nimbuses, all of these partnerships that you have to make sure that your business operates and provides quality service and a quality product. You should be doing the exact same thing for your sales and marketing efforts too. Make sure you have exceptional partnerships, good partners who know the space, who understand the ins and outs of your specific business, not just the industry, but also your business, and are there and able to support you with your marketing efforts and sales efforts. Make sure you're testing things, do different things, review the results of those things, and then based on those tests and those tactics that you've done and the results that you get back, make adjustments. And nothing in this space should ever be set in stone. You can always adjust and improvise and optimize. It's one of the things we do at Alethia. We're constantly looking at our clients' campaigns and making adjustments on the fly to try to get the best results. And finally, when you think about execution, make sure the partners you're working with are very good at communication and that they're committed to your success as much as they are their own. You want to make sure that you're having consistent communication to talk about what's working, what's not working, where can we see better results, what are we seeing that's working well, and how can we make those even stronger. Have the consistent communication and commitment from those partners to help you be successful. All right. So building brand, generating leads, those 3 steps with the customer's journey. They need to know who you are. They need to be able to find you when they need you, and they need to be able to connect with you how they want, when they want. Shared with you a variety of things. I tried to keep it fairly high level. I did get a little bit into the weeds with the website and with some search engine optimization, but I wanted you to hopefully understand a little bit about why it matters and what some of the key things are that you should be focused on. And ultimately, hopefully you feel like you've gotten some information here that allows you to go, okay, these are some questions we need to ask. This is by no means an exhaustive presentation. It's 45, 50 minutes is all. But if you know now, what questions do we need to ask? What are some potential gaps in our current strategy? What do we need to be looking at? Maybe we haven't done a good job of identifying our ideal customer. Maybe our website is really not as healthy as it should be. Maybe we aren't properly equipped when calls do come in. Part of the reason we're not converting is because we haven't properly trained or set processes up for our admin staff, for our marketing staff, for our call staff to transfer and get the things done we need to do, or our sales staff to convert these leads from a sit to an overall sale. But hopefully there's some things that are popping in your mind, some questions that you can ask, and would be happy to help you with any of those questions, either on this call as we wrap here for the last 7 minutes. If you have any questions here, I'd love to take those now, or perhaps we can talk offline and answer any questions you may have about the health of your site, your sales and marketing efforts, and those sorts of things. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Amanda, and see if anyone else has any questions.
I don't have any other questions, but wow, phenomenal. You did amazing. I learned so much, especially about SEOs.
Mm-hmm.
And you did say Puyallup, right? Just saying.
Okay, good. All right. Fantastic.
I want to remind everybody about our upcoming October 21st RCAW annual fall membership dinner at the Hotel Interurban in Tequila, starting at 6:30, with guest speaker McKay Daniels, the CEO of the National Roofing Contractors Association, who will speak about upcoming trends of finding dedicated employees. Plus, our annual RCAW Gala and Auction is coming up fast on December 3rd at the Seattle Marriott in Bellevue. Register online today at www.rcaw.com, and we hope to see you soon.